Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to recreate the White Sox logo in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to start off by going File, New, and I want this to be inches right here. So the units, I'm going to change the units to inches. I want this to be 36 inches by 36 inches. I'm going to click OK. Then I go File, Place, and I've already downloaded the White Sox logo, so I'm going to click on the White Sox logo right there, hit place. Now I need to click in the corner. I'm going to hold down the shift key while I'm scaling this up, so I'm doing a uniform scale, making this slightly bigger. There we go. And let me scale that on this way too, so it's about centered. It's fine if it goes off the page a little bit, that's okay. Alright, now I need to spin this open so I can see this. I like to spin this open too. If your workspace doesn't look like my workspace, you can go to Window, Workspace, make sure it's on Essentials. You can always hit Reset Essentials, and it'll automatically reset everything back. Alright, so now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer. Create a new layer. This is the layer that I'm going to trace, so I'll call it trace layer. Now this layer right here, this is going to be my background layer, so I'm going to drag this layer down all the way to the bottom. I'm going to click on the box tool right there, that rectangle tool, and I'm just going to create a box that covers this entire box right there, and I want to fill this in with the color blue. Perfect. I'm going to lock that layer. Now the trace layer, this layer is what I'm trying to recreate. So I always like to use this eye to see this is what I actually have, and then come back to the trace layer to see what I need to do. Now I'm going to create a new layer, put it all the way on top, and on this layer I'm going to call it Pen Tool Trace. So this is what I'm going to use the pen tool on, this layer, this top layer. I'm going to make sure both my fill color and stroke color over here are nothing. I'm going to click on the pen tool, and I'm going to start Control+++ to zoom in, and I'm just going to make this first box over here. So I'll click, 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 and close this out with the little circle there, click, and then I want to use the eyedropper tool and make the fill color white. So now let's see what I have. This is what I've created so far. Alright, so far so good. Let's turn that back on. Now I will create the bat here. Again, I'm going to make my fill color and stroke color be nothing. I'll click on the pen tool. I'll click, 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 click. I want to go to the apex of the circle, which is kind of like there. I'm going to click and hold to make this a nice curve. Try to have it follow along. Click one more time on that point. Keep this anchor over there, but just click one more time. And I come down here, I click and hold. Make this a nice curve right there. Click one more time on there. Now I'm coming up to the bat, so I click there. I want to come to the apex of this bat here, so let's just have this follow. There we go, that looks good. Click one more time on that point. Now have it come down. Click and hold and have it follow that down. That looks good. Click one more time on that point. Have this come all the way down to here. Then I'm going to have this, and I think I can actually probably have this follow pretty closely. There we go, that looks good. Click, and one more click right there. Now I click on the eyedropper tool, click on the white, fill it in. Let's see what I've done so far. So far, I now have this created. That's pretty good so far. Alright, let's come back. The eye. I am noticing that I'm on the pen tool, that's good. Now I'm going to create this red circle right there. So I'm going to click and hold on the box tool, go to the ellipse tool, and click, go ahead, click and hold down the shift key to create a perfect circle. Now notice that's filling with white. I don't want it to fill with anything to begin with. I'm going to use the selection tool. I'm going to look for, notice how right now it just looks like a normal arrow. I click and now the arrow changes shapes. I'm going to click and drag this. Now, it looks like my shape's pretty close to, but if your shape's kind of like this, you just want to hold down the shift key and do a uniform scale. So we kind of make this a little bit bigger and fill that in. Now I click on the eyedropper tool and fill that in. And let's see what I have done so far. So I undo that trace. So far, alright, this is what I have done so far. Looking good. Everything's looking good so far. Let's bring that back. Now I'll do the hat. So I'll hit Control plus to kind of zoom in. Come over here to the hat. Click on the pen tool. Make sure both my stroke and fill are nothing. Click on the corner. Click. Go up to the apex of the circle. Click and hold. Have this follow that line as close as possible. That's good. Click one more time there. Then come down here. Click and hold. Follow. That's good. Click. And let's close that out. Now I can use the eyedropper tool. Fill that in. And let's see what we have here. So far, this is what I've made. Looking pretty good. Let's bring this back. Let's do this part of the guy's head. So I'll click on this. Make sure both my fill and stroke color are nothing. Click. Click. Come down here. Click and hold. Have this just kind of follow that line. Perfect. Click. I want this to kind of just come up here. So this is just a real slight curve. It's nothing too big. Click. Click right there. Then this click up there, this point. And that looks good to me. Now let's fill this in with white. And let's see what I have. Minus out of here. Click off of that. So here's what I've created so far. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Now I want to do the body. So let's zoom in here to the body. I'll click on the pen tool. Make sure my stroke and fill colors are both nothing. Click, click, come to the apex of the circle, which is right about there. Click and hold. That looks pretty good. Click one more time. Go to the corner of the circle. Click and hold. I want this to be as close as possible. That looks pretty good. Click one more time on that point. Click right there. Notice this kind of curves right there. So I'll kind of click and click one more time. Click at the bottom of that X. Click right there. Click kind of at the top. I'm clicking and holding. That looks good. Click one more time on that point. Click, and this has to go all the way up to about here. This is going to be a big stretch here. There we go. Click one more time on that point, and then let's close it off. Click on the eyedropper tool, fill it in with white. Notice how that's white now. Let's click off of it using the selection tool. Just click off, zoom out, and then let's uncheck the eye and see what I've created so far. So far, this is what I have done. Now let's come back in here. Let's do the X next. So I'll make sure my fill and stroke color are both nothing. Click on the pen tool. Click. 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 Notice now how this is a little bit rounded right there. So I'll click and hold that. Close out of that. Click. Click. This is a little bit rounded, so I click and hold. What's up? Go ahead. Click right there. Click. 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 This is a bit rounded right there, so I click and hold to make that a little bit more rounded. Click one more time off. Go to the top. Click. Click. Click and hold. Click, and let's close that out. Now let's fill this in with white. It's not the best X that I've ever done in my life, but it's okay. Alright, now let's bring back this. Now let's complete the O. So the O, I'm going to start on the outside, and then I'm also going to have to trace out the inside of the O. So I will start, click, click, click and drag, click one more time, click, click right there, click and drag that out so it follows, click, click, click and drag, click, click, and then right there, click and drag out. Alright, so now that's closed out. Now if I fill this in with white though, then I'm going to cover that up. So I'm going to leave this right now empty, and I'm going to create a new pen path right here. That's just going to be the inside of the O. So now that I've gotten that, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool and fill that one in with blue. Then I'm going to click on the selection tool, click on this path that's around here, and I'll click on the select eyedropper tool and I'll grab that white. So now I'm filling that in with white. Now when I uncheck that eye, I can zoom out, see what I got. Alright, looking pretty good. Now I want to get one more thing. I want to get that S that's over here. So let's click on this eye, bring it back, find the pen tool, make sure my stroke and fill color are nothing. Gonna click, click, now do about there, close that, click, click, click and drag this, click, 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 click and drag, close out, click, click and drag, click, 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 and let's close that out with the 0. Now let's use the eyedropper tool, fill it in with white, and zoom out. And we can uncheck that, see what we've done. So this is what I've created. Whoops, I don't want that filled with white. I want that filled in with gray. I want it filled in with white. Alright, now that I've done that, I can actually take this layer right there and delete it. So I don't really need it anymore. Go File, Save As. Save this thing as whitesox.ai. Hit save, and it should be good to go. Alright, that's how to recreate the White Sox logo in Adobe Illustrator. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this video was helpful.